Hello and welcome to my Yu-Gi-Oh channel. So we've got a brand new main box coming to Yu-Gi-Oh Zeal as of Duel Links, and it's called Shark FANG. Of course, the first monster you can see as the image is number 32, Shark Drake. This is really rushing it quite, considering it was only the beginning of last month that we got the new main box. I think we got a structure deck in there as well, and then we got a mini box. So they're really trying to promote Duel Links to keep the player base. Today we're going to be covering the ultra rares. So the cover card we've got is, of course, number 32 Shark Drake. It's a water attribute Sea Serpent Exceeds monster. It's rank 4 with 2,800 attack and 2,100 defense. The materials it needs are 3 level 4 monsters. And the effect is once per turn, when this attacking card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, you can detach 1 Exceeds material from this card, special summon the destroyed monster to your opponent's side of the field in face-up attack position. Also, it loses 1,000 attack, and if you do summon it this way, this card can make a second attack during this battle phase. Essentially, this card is used to provide more battle damage. If you can use the effect a couple of times over, it can be enough to just overwhelm your opponent and defeat them on the spot. The slight issue is, of course, that it needs 3 level 4s and you've only got 3 zones to do this, so you do have to go for an all-or-nothing push. So we've got another number to introduce as well. It's number 37, Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark. It's a water attribute Sea Serpent Exceeds monster, rank 4 with 2,600 attack and 2,100 defense. This one requires 2 level 4 water monsters, and the effect is when any player's monster declares an attack, you can detach 1 Exceeds material from this card. All monsters your opponent currently controls loses 1,000 attack until the end of this turn. When this card is destroyed by battle or card effect and sent to the graveyard, you can target 1 other monster in your graveyard, special summon it. You can only use each effect of number 37 Hope Woven Dragon Spider Shark once per turn. This acts a little bit like Shark Drake, but it actually works in response to, an attack. You can do it for your attack, so you can try and guarantee that you can get over your opponent's monsters, especially if they've got something maybe a little bit stronger than this, and you think, if I do this, then my opponent doesn't have any outs. I mean, worst case scenario, you lose this card, and then you're able to revive something else. But in the best opportunity, you get rid of one of your opponent's better monsters. They have it more difficult to try and recover from their position, and that's always a good way to put them in. And of course, 2 level 4 monsters rather than 3 makes it that much easier to summon. Evil Swarm Bahamut is a dark attribute dragon Exceeds monster. It's a rank 4 with 2,350 attack and 1,350 defense. It does require 2 level 4 Evil Swarm monsters or IS monsters, and the effect is once per turn you can detach 1 Exceeds material from this card to target 1 face-up monster your opponent controls, discard 1 Evil Swarm monster, and if you do, take control of that opponent's monster. So this acts a bit like a brain control. You can always exceed them using that monster as well, so your opponent can't get it back, or you've got access to their card, so you can go and tribute summon it for something like a monarch, or use it for some other options such as a synchro summon as well. It's a way of kind of removing your opponent's board, but the issue is it does only affect face-up monsters, so things like Subterrors aren't likely to be affected by this. The other thing is it is a little bit frail on the fact it has no protection for itself, and its attack is okay, but it can be run over relatively easily. Maestroke the Symphony Djinn is a dark attribute Fiend Exceeds monster. It's a rank 4 with 1,800 attack and 2,300 defense. It requires 2 level 4 monsters, and the effect is once per turn you can detach 1 Exceeds material from this card, then target 1 face-up attack position monster your opponent controls, change it to face down defense position. If a Djinn monster, Exceeds monster you control would be destroyed, you can detach 1 Exceeds material from that monster instead. This one doesn't surprise me at all that it's been introduced as well, considering that with you've already got Melody and you've got Wizard Rhythm both in the game, so this is one of the other gins. It's predictable that it was going to be featured soon. It wasn't used that often within Yu-Gi-Oh! Zeal. I'm actually rewatching the series as it is now, and I don't actually remember. I'm on episode 80 something at the moment, and I think it was only during the Duel Festival that I saw Musa Rhythm and Melody being used. I don't remember seeing this one. And finally, they've introduced this card. After releasing pretty much most of the other hero support, now they've gone back to this one, Elemental Hero Stratos. It's a wind attribute, warrior type, level 4 with 1800 attack and 300 defense. The effects are, when this card is normal or special summoned, you can activate one of these effects. Destroy spell or trap cards on the field up to the number of hero monsters you control, except this card, or add one hero monster from your deck to your hand. The first effect of it is barely used, if at all, because you need to have other heroes on the field. At most, you can get rid of 2 cards if you really want to go down that route and you don't think drawing another hero monster would be beneficial to you. But most of the times, people, when they summon Stratos, just instantly go for its searching of another hero. For one thing, it adds so much more consistency to the deck. You want to summon into certain fusions. If you're not using any of the Omni heroes and you're focusing actually on, say, the pure elemental heroes, you are going to need to search into some of those cards because you will often need 3 cards to just fuse for some of the most basic ones. It seems to have had the same kind of treatment as a lot of other cards in that it was on the ban list for an amazingly long amount of time before they released it not that long ago. It was a year or 2 ago. And people were still wondering, what is going on? Why is Konami banning this card? And it seems to have had the same kind of effect within Duel Links. We'll wait and see how and when this card is used, or whether it will in itself get a Duel Links ban somewhere later on. But personally, I don't think it will, considering that there are certain cards that can just counter this effect anyway. Tin Goldfish is a little bit like Goblinberg in that it does basically the same kind of thing. It's a water attribute machine type level 4 with 800 attack and 2000 defense. The effect is, when this card is normal summoned, you can special summon one level 4 monster from your hand. It's an instant Exceeds monster if you want something that requires 2 level 4 monsters. So you've got your instant Utopia if that's what you're aiming for. Mermaid Shark is a water attribute fish type level 1 with 100 attack and 300 defense. And the effect is, when this card is normal summoned, you can add 1 level 3, 4 or 5 fish type monster from your deck to your hand. Okay, so this card doesn't look particularly powerful on the surface of it, but considering that Shark's deck basically runs in terms of ranks, rank 3, 4 and 5 anyway, this provides a lot more consistency as to what you can get. At the moment, you don't have too many of his, say, powerful numbers. You do have number 17, you've got number 32. Number 37 never actually came into his possession, but it's kind of attributed to him anyway, because it's a shark in some form. Probably things like Nightmare Shark are going to be associated with him as well. There's a Reborn Shark as well, and the thing is, there is a really powerful number. It's, I think it's number 73. That's Abyss Splash. I don't think you're going to be getting that number anytime soon, but it's a rank 5, and it has the ability to double its attack points. It's very good to OTK your opponent, so from that point, this is actually a great card to be paired with it. And the final card to be mentioned is Xyz Reborn. No, you haven't heard me wrong. It's not Monster Reborn, it's Xyz Reborn. It's got basically the same kind of shaping to it, and it's got a similar effect. It's a normal trap card, and the effect is target one Xyz monster in your graveyard, special summon it, and if you do, attach this card to it as Xyz material. So it provides you not only with the Exceeds monster back, but the ability to use its effect, providing it only needs to use one material to trigger its effect. There are certain numbers that do require, and certain Exceeds monsters that do need more than one material to use its effect, in which case you just get a beta on board. But it's a great card to have as a finisher anyway. So what do you guys think of these cards? Personally for me, I love the number cards anyway, so seeing number 37 in this as well, I'm definitely going to be picking it up. I'm definitely going to be trying to seek for that card. Nothing else in particular springs to mind. I like Mermaid Shark as well. Whatever you think, leave your comments down below. Which is your favourite card? Which cards don't you like from the Ultra Rares? And don't forget to subscribe for more daily Yu-Gi-Oh content. Make sure to look at the video that's on the end screen as I'm showing it now, just to see a little bit more of what I can do.